Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips tutorial brought to you by Adobe Photoshop Elements Tutorials Group. And let's jump right in. Today's poster wanted to make water reflections like I did before in a previous tutorial, but instead of the whole courtyard, he wanted just to make puddles. So what we did is we grabbed this image of this courtyard, and we're going to try to make some puddles here that have the reflection of the building. So what we want to do is copy from there up to the top to reflect that. So I'm going to grab a square, and I'm going to copy or create a square all the way down to about here. I'm going to make sure that that layer is chosen. Right click and copy that layer. Once we got this layer copied, we're going to go to Image, Rotate, and go Vertical. And that gives us a vertical rotation of the whole image. Now we're going to butt up exactly where we want it to match, which is going to be right around here. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to squeeze it in because the reflection, since it's lower to the ground, should feel a lot fatter, squatter. Now we're going to hide that layer and create another layer. And this layer, the top layer, is going to be the water puddles. And what we want to do is grab the polygon tool or the lasso tool, and let's create some water puddles. So we're going to just draw it by hand. It doesn't have to be perfect. And here's one. Let's go ahead and grab our paint bucket, and luckily black is chosen. We'll paint that right in with black. Let's create another one over here on this corner. Like that. Take the water bucket and paint that one in too. Let's do 1/3 one just to have fun with this. We'll just kind of overdo it. And just kind of go across the screen like that. And paint that one in. Now we want to cut off the edges so that it matches the photo, so I'm going to deselect. So I'm going to grab the square again, and on that same layer I'm going to grab the selection tool and kind of just go towards the edge of the picture and draw a square. It could be a little bit further beyond. It's okay because we can crop the picture at the end. And we right click and select inverse, hit delete, and we get rid of all the extraneous stuff that we don't want. Now what we want to do is bring in our photo again on top of that. And all we want to do is keep where the puddles are. So what we want to do is grab the magic tool, I'll type in 50, and grab each one by hand, shift click and shift click. Now we want to delete everything else, so we're going to right click and select inverse right there. But guess what? We don't want to select the inverse from that layer. We want to select it from the previous layer underneath. So now I hit delete, and it deletes everything but what we want to keep. How do we know it's there? Well, let's see. Let's hide the black layer, and look what's left. It's just the reflection that we wanted to keep. Now let's put the black layer underneath, because that's where it's going to live, underneath. So let's mute one of the layers, the black layer here. And so now we just got the top layer. And let's go ahead and soften the top layer's edge. Grab the eraser, and we're just going to simply erase the edge so it's not so sharp. That makes it a little bit more realistic. You want to be careful not to overdo it or underdo it, just so that it looks a little more natural. And since it is a reflection and that you'd actually would see sort of through it, we're going to take that reflection and bring it down to, I don't know, let's just say, 40% or so. So you can still see the ground. But it really wouldn't be that way because the reflection gets deeper in the middle, or the water. So let's bring back our black layer, and let's go to that layer and do the same thing with reflection, but let's grab a bigger brush and be a lot more liberal with erasing of the black part so that it's only more black towards the center. Because the black should be really subtle. It gives it depth, each puddle, so each puddle should be deeper as it goes towards the center. Let's go ahead and take the opacity, and we can just bring it up or down. See that? And this gives us our depth, basically. And finally, we'll give our top layer image here of the reflection a little bit of ripple. Let's go down to Filters, choose Distort, and then choose Ripple. And this one just happens to be set at 100, and it's set on the size small. Let's bring it up to medium. Watch the picture. Boom, it gave it a little bit of a ripple, which is really nice. And we like that, and that's all there is. Now all we got to do is resize our image to where we like it. Let's say we want to know right around there. And there it is. We got some good looking water reflections in our new image, and that's all there is for this tutorial. This is Rich calling it quits, saying over and out.